Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to Generation X Nation. We're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta real quick, but before we get started, I got my notes. I'm going to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my channel, who has left a comment, or who has hit the like button or share. Thank you. That's all I can say from the bottom of my heart. Now, with that being said, I got to do my disclaimer. Everything on my channel is alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. It is alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. All commentary is done week to week based on the episode that is aired, okay? With the understanding that some scenes are edited so we do not get the full context of the scene. Now, with that being said and out the way, let's get started. The episode starts with Pinky and her team. She's saying, hey, thank you guys for sticking by me. I finally got my financial situation straight, and I'm going to be opening up some franchises, I guess, in Vegas. And I think she said DC. Congratulations and kudos to you, Pinky, for doing that. We're glad you hung in there. We're glad to see you back on track. And that's what we want to see, Pinky. Don't talk about the downside. Let's see you coming back up, baby. Okay? We love it. K Michelle. K Michelle is prepping for her country listening party. K Michelle said, I want this right. She is the first female African American artist that's signed to a major country label. So kudos to you, K Michelle. I hope the album is a success. It sounds good. I may go out and download it myself because I don't even listen to country music like that. But I like that Jesus and Whiskey song. But let's keep going. Um, Later, you see K. Michelle, Pinky, and Shamia meet up at the pumpkin patch with the children. The kids are having a good time. Of course, they go and look at the ghosts and the goblins and the witches. And K. Michelle ain't about that. K. Michelle already told y'all she don't celebrate Halloween, so she gonna wait outside till y'all finish. Now, while they're going through that, K. Michelle does throw some shade at Drew, telling them ladies, if you need any more people to play the part of a witch out here, I got a friend that's a good actress. All right, Kay, we'll give you that. However, I will say this in this episode, I think Kay Michelle did her thing. But let's keep going. After the children come out, they go over to the little bounce area. They start bouncing over there where the bounce house is at. The ladies sit down. First thing out of their mouth, well, Alicia Mia was talking about the whole Angela and Drew thing. And then Pinky chimed in and said, yeah, I don't know where Drew was talking about Angela was vindicated. I'm going to backtrack from my last commentary because I actually thought Angela was somewhat vindicated. But looking back on it, no, Angela, you really did relay these messages in the incorrect context. The way you was saying it was like he was saying something sexual about Shamia, and it wasn't. When they showed the actual speech, that's not what it was. And then the wife saying you calling to get some dirt. Angela, you have been proven to try to be an investigative reporter. So I'm going to have to backtrack and not defend you on this one anymore. You were wrong in that. Now, Shamia brung up her HOH had fined her for this horse thing that Terry, Drew's little friend, brought to her house, and it's over $2,000, and she gonna make her pay for it. She said, "Hey, if she at least apologized, then I won't worry about it." But I get it. I don't know why that guy brought that horse there. Now, according to Shamia, Drew must have gave him the address. But later on, you'll hear Drew say something different, and I'll mention that as I talk about Drew's situation. Now, even after all that's being said, I love the fact that K. Michelle say, look, I get all that's going on. We may not be having, we may not be in the best place, but I'm having a listening party, and I want everybody there and everybody to come and enjoy yourself and have fun. And I appreciate Kay Michelle saying that. And it's just weird to me that Kay Michelle would be the one to try to get everybody back on track after that disaster that happened in Scotland. She would be the one. All right. Good kudos to you, K. Michelle. And she said, even in spite of her and Drew's issues, she still want Drew to be there. And that's how you do it. You don't have to hold the grudges when it comes to these scenes and these group scenes together. And I think also, since it was the finale, I think they wanted everybody there anyway. But the way they left it on K. Michelle's shoulder to get everybody together was really appreciated. Now, they also show Drew out there looking for a house. Oh, well, she was looking for a house and she said, hey, she's getting prepared, because at this time we already know she divorced and she got her settlement and all of that stuff. But at that time she didn't know how the divorce was going to end, so she's out looking for a house just in case. Apparently you need to be still looking for one, because from what they say, you got bought out your house and he got custody of the kids. So Drew, I would say you don't need that big old house you was looking at on the show. Maybe go get you a townhome or something. Since he got full custody, they're only going to be with you so many days out of the week. And I believe he probably got full custody because Drew was busy filming and doing other stuff. And maybe he was able to prove that she didn't have time to spend with the children like she should. I'm thinking that's it. And I think Martell, I'm gonna be lying, Love and Marriage Huntsville. I ain't gonna lie. I think Martell been coasting him a little bit too. And he did what Martell couldn't do. And maybe that's why Martell allegedly is dragging his ex back into court trying to get to where Drew's at. But I digress. Now, Drew, good luck to you. I hope you found a place to stay. But at the bare minimum, what you need that big house for if you ain't got the kids? Get you something down, a little small room for them, save you some money. You don't want to end up like Kelly. That's all I'm saying. Now, Kelly and Phaedra meet up. She gets to Phaedra's law office. And let me tell you something about Phaedra. I love me some Phaedra when it comes to stuff like this. Phaedra is about the business. Now, like her or love her, at the end of the day, when it comes to her business, Phaedra has good business accolades. She sat down there with her. She had her team with Kelly. And Kelly, you are so blessed not to have paid for this legal advice. I see them people sitting at that table. That's money sitting there. And for Phaedra to be doing that for you for free, I can see why you get on these shows and you won't say nothing negative about Phaedra, because that was a lot of money sitting there, billable hours that you got for free. That's all I'm going to say. Now, she's saying what she's discussing, with what they will be going to court discussing. She's trying to prepare her to be ready. They will be talking about the child support arrears and the children being able to film on TV. At the end of the day, Kelly's in there saying she has anxiety. She's scared of court. Now, this is a Kelly we like seeing too, because this is a vulnerable Kelly that we never get to see, because you're so busy being messy and goofy and laughing. Then when the real stuff comes in, it's like, oh, I really felt for you in that moment. I'm like, push everything aside. Kelly is really going through it. So that's how you get the audience to kind of, warm up to you, Kelly. Because right now you're talking about, I'm the standard. Nobody wants to hear all those lies. You know, Mia be lying. Mia be lying lasts about 2 seasons. They got tired of her lies too. So you on 2 seasons. If you come back next season with the same crap, the viewers are gonna say we sick of seeing you, Kelly. So tone it down just a little bit. Show us you redoing your life with your kids, since you can film them now, and getting your stuff back together. Okay, maybe opening up another restaurant in a better location. I don't know. But this part of Kelly that was vulnerable, talking to the camera, seeing a real side of you. And I get why you laugh and joke, because it seemed like you're masking what you're really going through. I kind of understand it. But every now and then give us this, Kelly, so we can actually tap into you. After that, I think they went to Drew's house and Drew was throwing a party for her mother. All them holy church folks was up there having a good time, but the alcohol was down there in the basement. So Phaedra, Portia, Drew, and Angela showed up to the party to wish her mom a happy birthday. They're down in the basement. And this Dr. Ken, who is Drew's therapist, he a little touchy friendly to me, but he was holding on to Phaedra for dear life when he was, when he went down there to greet the ladies. And he also seems like he liked camera time because he wanted to be in every scene. That's all I'm saying. Um, Black shows up to the party. I don't know why. She said Black loves her mom and her mom wanted to meet Black. So he shows up. It's just a moment to give Black some camera time or to create a scene, Drew, because we know you and Black ain't together. Y'all don't even on, I know at this moment y'all not together, but even on film y'all didn't look like y'all had no chemistry. That was all, in my opinion, fake to me. Now Drew had to throw this party apparently in an Airbnb because Ralph wouldn't let her use the house. It was his weekend and he said absolutely not. Ralph, I thought that was real crappy of you, because you could have said, well, okay, if you can use the house this weekend, then we just gonna have to flip weekends or something. You could let a lady use the house, but we know you and the mom haven't got along in years, so I also understand um, why that happened. So they got to talking about the horse at Shamia's party, and this one I said pay attention, because according to Drew, Walter, who was, I guess, one of her people in her crew, gave Terry that address. But Shamia's running with, it must have been Drew who gave him my address. But Drew said it was Walter. So we don't know who to believe. But at the end of the day, they knew you would be at Shamia's house. So somebody gave him the address. I don't know why Drew would give him the address unless she was telling him to meet her there, but she definitely didn't know he was going to bring a horse. I don't think nobody knew that. So that's why I said, I don't know if Drew gave him the address, but I know this man for sure said Drew said Walter gave the address. So either she put it off on you, Walter, or Drew is either lying or Walter should never gave out the address. One or the other. Now, her mom and Dr. Ken got the dancing. Drew sang her happy birthday song to the mom, and it kind of ended like that. Like I said, Dr. Ken liked to be the center of attention. He even wanted me to whisper to Portia, when you go to your next marriage, I may be able to help you. Portia like, what? And then when she asked him, was he married? He said, stay out of my business. What kind of doctor y'all got going on? That's all I'm saying. Now they show Portia and of course Sway. They're having a serious conversation about the relationship. I knew in that moment Portia had picked Sway. Portia and Sway looked good together to me. Portia seemed more happy and giddy with Sway than she ever did when Mike come around. I actually seen chemistry, and I didn't believe I would say this, but I seen more chemistry with her and Sway than I definitely did with her and Mike. I don't know what it is about Sway, but Sway is real smooth. I can see why Portia likes her. I really can. They also showed a scene where Angela and her daughter was having a real conversation about this wedding that she had and didn't tell anybody. And Charles was sitting there grudgingly because Charles looked like he didn't want to be there. When she put her wife on the phone, Charles was like, hey, what's up? Like he was just so disappointed. To me, allegedly. He may love the girl. I don't know. But definitely her daughter has came to the conclusion that my mom was right. I probably rushed through this. She is really not happy, and she definitely realized I probably shouldn't have did this wedding so fast. Now, the young lady that she's married to, I'm it was a shock to all of us. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that. And I think she may love and have she loves the lady, I'm assuming. But I think the lady on the that she's married to is really deep into Angela's daughter, Amari, but I think Amari is regretting jumping the broom so fast and so quickly and not pulling back and, taking her time and walking through that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You're married now, you got to figure it out. Now, we're going to get down to the last part of the episode, which was K. Michelle's event. And this what I meant. K. Michelle event was absolutely gorgeous. It was a beautiful moment. The place was nice. Everybody was looking amazing. Cynthia even brought her boyfriend. Pinky husband showed up. Um, I thought it was really, really a really nice event. Now, as this event was going on, Drew came in, Shamia came in, and I'm gonna tell you something. I thought everybody was being very cordial, was dressed appropriately, and I don't know, Kelly had on a little necklace, looked like she was an Indian or something. It just threw me off. But everybody else seemed like they was with the scene as far as the country go, at least had on black or some denim or something like that. Um, K. Michelle got up there. She started doing her songs, and she passed the mic to everybody. And that's the moment that touched me and rang in my head and solidified K. Michelle for me. Because in spite of everything that was going on, she said, hey, I'm going to make sure everybody get a chance to sing and all of that. Now, prior to this happening, they come in there and two things starts. First, in my opinion, Drew came in with a nasty disposition. I don't care nobody say Drew came in there on 10. Oh, I can't even believe she invited me to this. Drew, you came in there with the wrong energy because everybody else was in good spirits. Portia came in. Of course, Shamia has something to say about I'm gonna match energy with energy because Portia just ignored her. But I seen hurt in Shamia's face when Portia came in and ignored her. And I could see her whole demeanor change when Portia walked in. Because she was cool as everybody else walked in and lovey-doved and hugged everybody. When Portia walked in, her whole demeanor changed. She is hurt behind that friendship and she can mask it all she wants, but we see through it. Um, Then Shamia, at the wrong time and place, she brings up the dang on fine. You owe me $2,000. And then, of course, Drew picks it up, trying to make a scene or create a scene. Well, I don't know if this is legal or not. Here, Phaedra, you read this. You an attorney. Good Lord. Y'all got to stop getting free. Phaedra, stop giving them people free advice. Billable hours, Phaedra. Billable hours. Okay. So I'm like, see, those two things right there threw the whole music listening party off for me because it was a good event. It was starting off well. Everybody was happy to be there. And then here comes Shamia with this crap. And Shamia, this whole episode, I was rooting for you. You was, even though you were having your little moments, you still a little hurt here and there. I seen a different side. I still like you. I just think it was inappropriate to do that there. You could have discussed that with Drew somewhere else. Because hey, I'm like you, I'm pissed off too. This $2,000 fine because you and your little boyfriend and brung a horse to my house. I get it. I just didn't think that was the appropriate place to do it at, Shamia. Okay. However, they went back and forth, gave the stuff to Phaedra. And Drew came in there with the wrong energy off the back. Okay. Portia came in there happy with Sway. She looked as happy as she ever want to be, made it official. They are together. Again, when you was with Mike, Portia, ain't nobody believe that. There was no chemistry with you and Mike. Y'all didn't even look like y'all liked each other. Y'all literally looked like y'all was doing a fake acting scene. Just my opinion. So K Michelle, once, like I said, she started singing. She passed the mic to the girls, but before she passed the mic, she stood up there and she said she wanted to recognize and acknowledge basically her castmates. She said these women have touched her lives. They are amazing women. They get up, they work hard, they raise their family, yada yada yada. It was so touching. I said, this is a K Michelle we like. The growth. I love that about K Michelle. K Michelle, I need to see her another season if this is what we're going to get out of you. Because she did a little shady, here and there, but she also did acknowledgement and show love. And that's what I like. And I'm happy that y'all showed K Michelle there's a different way to go about this friend group. We can argue and fight and still love each other. And I think she finally get it. It don't have to be rah, rah, rah all the time. We can turn up and we can turn down. I appreciate that. So now she passes the mic. First thing out of Drew's mouth. I hope she don't give it to me because I don't know the song. I don't think half of them knew the song, but they got up there and sang. God knows Angela and Kelly can't sing. Shamia sounded decent. Hell, Phaedra sounded like she was in the church choir. But Angela Kelly was winging it. Okay? I don't remember if they showed Portia singing, but then she gives the mic to Drew, and Drew just looking stupid. Once again, Drew, wrong place, wrong time. You and Shamia were not hitting it right this particular episode. Okay? Y'all was just doing, it was just inappropriate, some of the stuff you guys are doing in this particular episode. Okay? When she gave you that mic, you should just took it and sang and moved on. And even after she took it and sang, she said, go ahead, don't matter if you know the words, to sing. And then Kay even hugged it out with you. So I'm like, that should have solidified everything right there. Like, look, let's just have a good night. And whatever my issues it is with K Michelle, let me put this to the side. But no, not Drew. After all the music stopped, everything said and done, they go and have their little cast conversation, and there go Drew. And K Michelle comes over and jokingly, like, Drew be crazy, but she cool. And then Drew takes it serious, brings up the black episode again, which we don't care, starts showing receipts. Even Portia in the confession, like, girl, not these receipts again. Wrong place, Drew. You and Shamia was just hitting the targets at the wrong place and time. Shamia shouldn't have brought up that fine. Not there. You owe her the damn money. I ain't saying Shamia was wrong, but I just didn't think it should have happened there. And Drew, why are you bringing up black in this moment? So now her and K Michelle are going back and forth, and Kelly, she's and K Michelle is saying, I don't know him like that. And she's like, yes, you do. She shows a DM with the dates. And I kind of believe what K Michelle was saying. K Michelle's like, look, I get a lot of DMs and I reply back, hey, thank you, handsome. Thank you, whatever. I get it because Southern people do that. Bless your heart. Hey, beautiful. Hey, handsome. I think that's really what K Michelle was doing. There was nothing more than that. But Drew being from the Midwest, not maybe understanding that Southern how we do it, but you've been living in Atlanta long enough to know that's how Southern people talk to you. It don't mean anything, okay? Um, I don't know. I just felt like it was the wrong place and wrong time. So as they're getting going back and forth, um, she gets the security comes in. Now remember, you at K Michelle's event, Drew. You should have stopped all that popping off. You should have left it alone, because these are her fans. She trips over her pants, falls down. She gets up. She's getting booed on her way out, and as she's going out, security pushed me down. But then she said, "I tripped over my pants." So did security push you, or you tripped over your pants? They did the playback. Security didn't push you. You fell over them pants. She gets out there. Now, Portia does go follow her, and she's like, "Hey, Drew, what's going on?" Whatever. And she, makes sure that she's okay and stuff. Drew, you create that whole scene. Because whatever little shade that you thought K. Michelle was throwing in that moment, you should just let it go. That was K. Michelle's night. Why would you try to ruin it? It's her fans and her people. They're not going to let you be in there talking crap to her. So that moment you was trying to create fell flat, as far as I'm concerned. Like I say, I do my commentary based on week to week. And this week, I didn't like the way Drew was acting. And I didn't care. This week I didn't like the way Drew was acting, and I liked Shamia in this week, a little more toned down. I just thought she could have handled the fine a little better, or maybe text Drew and say, "Look, screenshot, text it, hey, this is what's going on." But even if you did that, Drew probably would have made a big episode out of it. Should have just waited till after the concert to bring it up, maybe in the parking lot on the way home. I don't know. Then Angela and Shamia asked Angela asked Shamir, "Are you and Portia all good?" And I'm like, "Why you all, Angela? Here you go trying to start." And they was like, "We good for now, but no, that's it." Angela, there you go, investigating. And then you gets in it with Kelly. You mentioned something about her heels, trying to make her. She said, "Well, I'm just," Kelly says, "Well, I'm tall as you in these heels." Angela said, "Not as tall as your bills. I can't." Angela, I love you, Angela, but yeah, you didn't have to say that to Kelly at that moment. I feel like sometimes you guys be missing the moment. This moment was the season finale. Y'all should just took it under the chin and let bygones be bygones and enjoy the end of the season and handle the rest of that stuff at the dang on reunion. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Now, with that being said, I will say this. I know at the end they were giving the updates on everybody. I think Shamia said that they was pregnant. I don't know where it's at now, because that film, way back in October, November sometime, and we are already in August. So I don't know for sure. I hope they was able to have a healthy pregnancy. I didn't really follow it. She hasn't mentioned anything, whether or not that is still going on. If not, my prayers go out to them if it didn't happen, but I'm hoping it did. I didn't follow through, and I got to go look and see, because I forgot to check to see if they were able to follow through with it. Kelly, I'm happy to see that Kelly, she said, hey, her husband got locked up for contempt. And he ain't getting out till he giving him $31,000. Kelly, I hope you get on your feet. I really, really do. And again, you made hey, we made a viral moment talking about you was a standard. So we're gonna see some standards next year when you get on your feet, okay? Congratulations to Pinky for getting herself out of her financial bind. We know Portia gonna be all right. We know Cynthia gonna be all right. Drew just got, kicked out of her home. She settled, well, bought out of her home. I think she got $150,000. Hopefully she take that money, use it wisely, and find her a home. But the fact that she lost custody of her kids is odd to me, because most women don't lose custody of their children unless there's something in there that's off. And I don't know if she voluntarily gave the custody up or not, but Drew, whatever's going on, fight to get joint custody or something of your children back. And it may be a joint custody thing. He has primary custody, meaning the children stay with him for school and all of that stuff, but she still gets to see them on a regular basis. I don't know. We wish all of you guys the best, but I'm gonna say the ending was great. Everybody took a picture. Drew was missing, and Phaedra said, "Go get Drew," and they was like, "I'll forget Drew," but Drew did eventually come back and take the photo, still running off at the mouth. Now, y'all ended on a good note as far as I'm concerned, but then something between that ending back in November, and I know it's social media and people posting whatever, and this reunion that got y'all in a firestorm. Now y'all fighting with each other again. I'm like, good Lord. And I guess maybe after again, you watch the show, they film it, then they watch it 5, 6 months later. I guess it brings up old feelings. Things go, people start saying stuff. They didn't know you said this in a confessional about me. I didn't know you said it in a conversation about me over here. And then they start going on social media with their Twitter fingers and typing this and typing that. And then I think that causes the division that they're having right now. But as you can see, the previews from some of the reunion, whew, yeah, it's not looking good at all. It really isn't. There's one where I think K Michelle and Portia go back and forth with each other. There's some where Kelly is going back and forth with I don't know if it was Portia. They're just going back and forth, and I hate that. But in true form, everybody was saying, oh, well, Kelly's going to be off the show. Shamia's going to be off the show. I actually thought maybe a few people would get demoted to friend of the show because their storylines were so crazy. But according to Andy, don't believe any of those rumors. So who over there at Bravo that's leaking stuff to bloggers and content creators, y'all might want to be careful because I think if Andy find out who's leaking, y'all going to be fired. You might want to chill with the leaks, okay? But he said everybody is coming back. He said Nene will not be returning to the show. Don't believe that. He said everybody on the cast is coming back. I think Andy believes he has a good cast, and he do. He do. I just think this was Kelly's sophomore year. This was Shamia's sophomore year. I want them to do better. I want them to look at the whole season and look at some of the comments. You don't have to believe what everybody say or agree with them, but look at some of the comments, look at the season itself, and maybe figure out what you can do better next season. I'm not saying don't defend yourself, don't take up for yourself, but maybe how you can move better so you're more appealing to the audience and the viewers. Okay. Angela, I love Angela, but I think she took a little slight dive this season because of her just being too damn nosy. Let's just keep it above. Too nosy. I like Kelly for, if anything else, Kelly's going to give you something to laugh about. I don't believe everything come out of Kelly's mouth, but she does bring just a little humor because she crazy as hell. Okay? Like, if you think about it, Kelly showed up in the room with Phaedra at the attorney's office in a brown bodysuit that looked just like the brown bodysuit suit Shamia had on when she went to see her financial advisor with no bra. And Phaedra had to say, hey, you're going to need to wear this bra to court. Now, I thought that was funny, but at the same time, like, Kelly, why they got to tell you to do that? You know to wear. I'm just saying. Kelly just do some silly stuff. So she started to grow on me a little bit. I still don't like her disposition towards Drew sometimes. I don't know why she hates Drew so much and why she goes after Portia, but she is kind of wearing on me. But that I am the standard thing, just rub people the wrong way. Sit in where you at right now, Kelly, and build yourself up from that. Because I think you're going to be a good cast member because you guys got to remember, Kenya Moore came into the scene. People did not like her at all. Kenya Moore walked around with a fake booty on, trying to imitate Phaedra in the thong. She was flirting with Phaedra's husband right in Phaedra's face. Okay, she had a whole marching band at Marlowe's event when she was launching her company. Kenya Moore Hair Care with a marching band. And Kenya Moore has done some crazy stuff, but she was always a villain we loved. She was a villain, but we loved her. And Kelly, if you're going to be that villain, make yourself lovable too. And how you do that is in that moment when you was sitting in the office with Phaedra being serious. And then when you was in the confessional saying you was scared and had anxiety, we felt you. So be the villain we love to hate. Kenya changed it because she took us home to Detroit and showed us how her mother treated her and introduced her to her family. And then she took us down to Houston and showed us her dad and her aunt that raised her and all of that. And we got to know her better and understand why she may behave that way sometimes. And then she brought us into her relationships where she had guys who didn't treat her the best. Now, some people say she paid for these boyfriends. We don't know. But it got us to know Kenya a little better and say, you know what, Kenya is she's a villain we love to hate. I don't like the way she acts sometimes, but I also like her as a person because in spite of everything she came from, she's still on top. In spite of being given away as a child, your mother slammed the door in your face when with the cameras there, don't want to talk to you. She still fought through all of that. And that's what we want for you, Kelly. That's what we want to see. Okay. Another example, again, I refer back to Love and Marriage Huntsville. Destiny. Destiny on Love and Marriage Huntsville was not, oh my God, they used to eat Destiny up in the comments. Nobody liked Destiny, including myself. I wasn't a big fan of Destiny because of the way she treated certain castmates on the show. But when Destiny showed us a real side, a human side, a side we can relate to, a side that we can show empathy and some sympathy for, it made her be more of a likable villain. And now people like Destiny more than they like the Scotts. And that's saying something. So that's all we saying, Kelly. We see you, Kelly, and we want you to do better. Shamia, that's a hard one because I think a lot of people feel like, oh, Shamia is the ultimate housewife. I see that a lot. She got a husband, she got money, she got that don't make you a good housewife just because you got a husband and a car and a nice home. Do y'all remember Angel on Real Housewife of Potomac? She had exactly that, and she still did not resonate with the audience. People still like Angel to this day. It's the personality and different things. And Angel was never able to connect with anybody because of the way she acted. So that's just my assessment. Real Housewives of Atlanta was great. I love this particular episode. It ended well. It was emotional for me because I love the part where K. Michelle acknowledged all her castmates and acknowledging, hey, I actually can be in a friend group with girls. We can love, fight, and hate on each other, but also come together when we need to and support each other. I appreciate that. I think it was really the defining moment of this particular episode. That's just in my opinion. Okay. And with that being said, this is Generation X Nation. My recap of Real Housewives. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. And for everybody else, y'all go out and have a great rest of your day. And as always, peace. And I'm out.